Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings. Now let's get straight to it. All right. So actually, let's literally get straight to it. Read, brother Bob Kashah, Isaiah chapter 45 and 7.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7. And it reads, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
So today's lesson is going to be about Isaiah 45 and 7. And what is the purpose of evil spirits? Because someone could read this verse and potentially be very confused. Because it says here that the Most High not just created light and peace, like the church, teaches us, but he also created darkness and evil as well. Yes, so that means that the Most High created Satan as well. And that could be very confusing, because again, it's contrary to everything that we're taught to believe. So today we're going to uncover, what the purpose of this evil that the Most High created, at least to our perspective. I'm not claiming to know the full extent of the Most High's ultimate plan. Nothing to that extent, just from what we have here in the scriptures, and understand a little bit more about how the right hand and the left hand side works. All right, so let's get a little bit more. Since we have it here, let's get a little bit more on the Most High creating both the right hand and the left hand side. Let's get Amos chapter 3 and verse 6.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord have not done it?
So if there is evil in the city, it was the Most High doing it. All right. And, a lot of people will hear that and they're like, oh, that's just in the Old Testament. No, that's in the quote unquote New Testament too. And like Deontay Wilder said, to this day, that's still going on right now. If you see evil in the city, the Most High created it. All right. Because the Most High is in complete and utter control of every single aspect in existence, all the way down to the smallest possible atoms and particles, everything, literally everything in existence you ever will think about, you've ever thought about, and things that you know nothing about. All right. So back to the point though, why would the Most High create evil? What is the purpose of this? Let's get a little more. Let's get Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
All right, so a false balance is abomination to the Most High, and a just weight is his delight. All right, so that means that there's a right-hand side and there's a left-hand side. This is what this balance is dealing with here. All right, there's a righteous and then there's a wicked. And we're going to come back to this verse. Let's get a little bit more on what's righteousness and what's wickedness. All right, and, brothers, bear with me because this may be, common to some of us, but we got to break this all the way down just in case we have someone that's new that really needs this, understanding. All right, let's get Psalms chapter 119 and verse 172.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 172. My tongue shall speak thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness.
Well, righteousness is keeping the commandments of the Most High. All right, and that's found mostly in the first 5 books of the Bible, also called the Torah or the law. That's simple. That's what righteousness is to the Most High. If you're not abiding by these commandments in this book, you are wicked. It does not matter if you go to church every Sunday. It doesn't matter if you pay an extra 5% in tithes, quote unquote tithes, to your church. It doesn't matter if you see a cat walking down the street and you go save them, or about a tree or something like that. Don't matter if you help elderly people up when they fall down. None of that matters if you're not keeping the commandments of the Most High. You have to do according to the word. All right. Your tongue shall speak of thy word. If your tongue is not speaking of the word, you're not following the commandments. You're not righteous. All right. It's that simple. Now let's get 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4 to see what wickedness is.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
That's what sin is. It's crazy. I mentioned this before one time. I asked a brother that his religion is Christianity. I asked him, what is sin? And the brother told me, it depends. He literally said that. He could not give me an answer. When this scripture is literally telling you what is sin. It says sin is the transgression of the law. I mean, you could have Googled that and this would have came up. But in church, we're not even taught what sin is. How can we overcome sin? How can we get to the kingdom? We don't even know what sin is. It makes no sense. Anyway, back to the point though, this is what wickedness is. Wickedness is the transgression of the law. The law, again, which is found in the Bible, which tells you how to conduct your life, what actions to take, what actions not to take. All right, which is even bigger than that. It's a lot more that comes with keeping the law, but just to what we're talking about right now, that's righteousness, keeping the law. Wickedness is transgressing or breaking the law. All right. Now let's go back real quick to Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1.
It's the book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Most High, but a just weight is his delight.
Okay, that's a balance that's just to him, having that right-hand side and the left-hand side. But one still may be wondering, why even create this wickedness, and why is this just weight his delight? Well, first of all, don't ponder too much on that, because your thoughts is not the Most High thoughts. So don't try to get too caught up in this, trying to figure it all the way out, what the Most High actually doing and thinking. Again, this is just from the perspective of a man's perspective of what good and evil is, because everything is that the Most High does is righteous. But again, let's get more on this though. Let's get more on this. All right, let's get the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 14.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
So that's a dichotomy that the Most High is dealing with. When you watch a quote unquote superhero movie, you notice there's always a good guy and then there's always a villain. All right. And that concept, in a sense, is taken from the scriptures, because there's always good pitted against evil. Right now, that same battle is going on. The children of good are the children of the light, are the children of Israel. The children of evil right now that's reigning over this kingdom would be Esau. That's the evil. And then the children of Israel are the good. That's the godly versus the sinner. All right. Let's get verse 15.
Con, verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another.
2 and 2, one against another. Again, that's the just weight that the Most High is dealing with. But, we still haven't answered the question, why does the Most High do this, from our perspective at least? All right. Let's talk about the angels then, because we know that we have a right-hand side and a left-hand side angel. A left-hand side angel is a You could say a devil or a demon. Then the right-hand side angels as well. But let's start with one devil that everybody knows, which is Satan, which is the chief devil or left-hand side angel. Chief meaning the ruler of all of them. All right, let's get Job chapter 1 and verse 6.
It's the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
Anytime you present yourself before the Lord like we're doing right now, Satan also comes along you as well. All right, because Satan is like a roaring lion going to and fro upon the earth, looking to cause some drama, looking to cause you to go off. All right, but let's keep going.
Verse 7, and the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So whence comest thou means where you coming from, Satan? And in this alone, we already see, contradictions to what is taught in the church, really, because they act like Satan is, just down low in this underground realm called hell. The Most High has no communication with him. He can't really stop him. He could try a little bit, but he can't really stop him like that. That's all nonsense. All right. That's not really how this thing works. All right. The Most High has full control of Satan, and Satan does not have his own realm where he reigns. All right. He's subject to the Most High. All right. He's nothing but an employee. Satan is not what the church tells you that he is. All right. And the Most High knows exactly what he's doing. They teach you in church. You really, I feel like they talk about Satan sometimes in their sermons more than they do the Most High, man. It's all about Satan and haters and all this stuff. He's all Satan in that thing, man. But let's keep going.
Verse 8, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and Ashworth evil.
Sure, with evil. So basically, Job doesn't deal with evil, meaning he doesn't break the commandments. All right. So Job was keeping the commandments. He was keeping the Most High's laws. He was an upright man. He feared the Most High. So you see here, the Most High is having a conversation with Satan, and he's saying, how you consider my servant Job? There's none like him in the earth. Now, again, according to church doctrine, this conversation would never be going on, because Satan doing things on his own accord. I mean, he has his own realm. So why would he need to talk to the Most High? He got his own realm. He decide who go down there in quote unquote hell, and who he wants to torment. But that's not how this works. And as you see, Job is alive, right? So the Most High Satan don't just torture those that are dead. It's so much to uncover there. I'm not even going to keep getting on that. Let's keep going.
Verse 9, then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for not?
So we basically, does Job actually fear the Most High? Let's keep going.
Verse 10, has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
So Satan trying to make a case, man. Let's get verse 12.
Verse 12, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord.
So do you see what Satan did here? He followed the Most High's commandment. Okay. So this the way this is written, it looks like a conversation on the Most High is suggesting something to them, but he's actually commanding Satan to go test Job. Okay, this is not a conversation. This is a commandment. And that's what Satan is doing. Remember, we read in Isaiah 45:7 to start out that the Most High creates evil. Okay, and this is part of that evil right now that the Most High is creating, at least according to man. All right, we get more examples of it, but we're going to answer the question directly the further we get down. All right, we kind of building that up right now. Now let's talk about Satan for a second here too. We just talked about him, but what does the word Satan even mean? Now we look at the concordance here, which is just a dictionary for the words used. You have Strong's H7854. Satan, all right, which just means adversary. Adversary says from H7853. Let's get that real quick. And it's the same thing. The word adversary, to be or act as an adversary, resist, oppose. The word Satan just means adversary, but an adversary to men. Satan is a left-hand side angel or a demon, more properly put, that attacks men, not the Most High. Okay, so that's the purpose of Satan, is to attack men, to test men in various different ways. Okay, and again, Satan is an angel. We're going to read that later on, but that's all he is an angel that's a ministering spirit of the Most High. He's doing the Most High's work because the Most High creates evil. Again, we're going to get not exactly why, but you know what I mean. We're going to get why in this lesson. Why does the Most High do this, at least from the perception of men? Now, let's talk about angels. This portion, we're about to talk heavily about the angels, what they are and their functions. Okay, let's get Colossians chapter 1 and verse 14.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 1 and verse 14. In whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins.
Okay, this is referring to Yahweh Shah. Let's keep going.
Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature.
All right, Yahweh Shah is the express image of the Most High. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 16, for by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
So that's another thing they don't teach you in church. The Most High created Yahweh Shah, his son, or who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. The Most High, or God, created him. And then through that power, Yahweh Shah created all things. It says here, all things that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible. So the Most High is, in general, the creator of all things in existence. But he gave that power and judgment to his son, Yahweh Shah. Okay, but what we're focusing on here, that could be a completely different lesson, but what we're focusing on here is the visible and the invisible. There's so many things that the human eye cannot see, like angels, spirits. Matter of fact, all of the most important things that exist can't be seen. Think about it. Spirits, love, trust, the Most High. All right, all of these things cannot be seen. Oxygen can't be seen, or at least to the naked eye. But it's the most important things that you can have. All right, Yahweh Shai did this, and it's no different with the angels. Okay, now let's get more on the characteristics of angels, and we're gonna bring it all full circle home. Let's start at the top here, Baba Kasham, on Psalm chapter 104 and verse 1.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 1. Blessed be the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty.
Praise the Most High. Let's keep going.
Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain.
I love wordplay there. Let's keep going.
Verse 3, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
Okay, a lot of times when you read the word clouds, especially like in Exodus, you read about a chariot, all right, the Most High's chosen vehicle to host his angels. But let's keep going.
Verse 4, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire.
So the angels are made to minister to the Most High as a flaming fire, what we would call energy. All right, it's not the exact same thing, of course, but that's just a concept, that you can use to relate to in your mind of what an angel or a spirit is. All right, like they tell you in the world, that person's in the spirit, or that's the spirit, something like that. Or if somebody come in and you say, man, I don't like they spirit, I don't like their energy. That's what you're saying, and there's so many different types of spirits that the Most High have, access to that's going to and fro in the earth. But that's what an angel is, a minister. They're ministering to the Most High, rather, a flaming fire, Let's get Psalms chapter 103 and verse 20.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 20. And it reads, Blessed the Lord, bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word.
All right, so the angels excel in strength, meaning they're stronger than men. All right, and they do the Most High's commandments. They don't freestyle. They're not doing their own thing. All right, these spirits, these angels, they're not doing their own thing. They following the Most High's commandments. And also, by the way, quick side note, there's no such thing as fallen angels. Okay, and Satan is not a fallen angel. This story that Satan was chilling in heaven, he was in the choir and he went off and he got kicked down and he fell all the way from the third heaven all the way to earth. He fell, bumped his head. He had a bump on his head or something like that. Put a bandage on it, then, start wrecking the earth. That didn't happen. That story is nowhere in the Bible at all whatsoever. But people still tell you that in church. The devil was in the choir. Where at? Can I get that breakdown, please? What verse is that? It's not in there. Anyway, the angels don't disobey the Most High. That's the point here, man. They don't even have a chance to sin. They're not built of flesh like men are. All right, so they're not prone to going off like we are. All right, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, like the scriptures told us. Now, let's talk about the different types of spirits. So, we talked about that earlier with Proverbs 11 and 1. You got the righteous spirits, and then you got the wicked spirits, or the right-hand side spirits and the left-hand side spirits. Now, let's talk about the right-hand side spirits first, at least briefly, because this lesson is about the left-hand side spirits and the purpose of them. So let's talk about the right-hand side spirits. So let's get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5, Bab Kasha.
God, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
So the spirit of discipline is a righteous spirit, because normally with discipline, good things happen. You reading the word, you doing the word. All right, you abstaining from, all types of wickedness that you could be going through. So that's a righteous spirit that the Most High got going on, going to and fro in the earth. All right, that's the spirit that you want on you, the spirit of discipline. Let's keep going.
Verse 6. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For the Most High is witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue.
Wisdom is a loving spirit. That's another righteous spirit that you want on you. Because with wisdom, now you can keep the Most High's commandments better. And not just from a standpoint of knowing which commandments to keep, having a discernment of, when to improve or how to actually live life out here. Because, a lot of times we can read the Bible, but when it comes to applying it to our everyday lives, when it comes to different relationships that we have, when it comes to, when I say relationships, I'm not talking about just the opposite sex, at least hopefully. I'm talking about relationship with your parents, so on and so forth. It's hard to apply that at times if you don't have that wisdom, which is a righteous spirit. All right, so loving spirit. Let's give verse 7.
Verse 7. For the spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice.
And knowledge as well. All right, these are all righteous spirits, part of the Holy Spirit, which again, that's a whole separate lesson as well. But that Holy Spirit that the Most High has sent upon the earth, all right, that's a righteous spirit. Okay, that's a right-hand side. But now, but before we talk about the left-hand side spirits, one thing we need to know about the right-hand side spirits is that they only dealing with certain men. All right. You got to qualify for that. Only certain men going to qualify for the Most High to send these righteous spirits upon them, because the spirit of knowledge, all men have some type of knowledge, but the knowledge of this word, you got to qualify for that. That's not just given to all men. Let's get Psalms chapter 34 and verse 7.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 7. And it reads, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them.
So the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him. I don't think we have to go to the precepts now, because we've gotten them many times now, but those that fear the Lord will keep the commandments. So again, you have to fear the Lord to receive these righteous spirits. Why do you think that you couldn't read the Bible at all, but before you start keeping the commandments? At least I speak for myself, and I know that's a testimony of many other brothers and sisters as well. You start keeping the commandments, and then boom, just like that, it's like the Most High just flipped a switch. Now all of a sudden you're reading KJV. Not only can you understand it, you can't get enough of it. All right, it's because
bring it out.
That's because now you fear the Lord. Most High not gonna deal with you if you don't fear him. All right, that's when the angel of the Lord gonna come and camp around you. All right, and deliver you. You gotta be, you gotta be in the spirit. Again, the spirit, you gotta keep the commandments. You gotta fear them. So this is not given into all men. All right. And it's given to the saints, as we see in verse 9, which are the Israelites. All right. So now we know we know the purpose of the right-hand side, or at least we know a little bit more about the right-hand side spirits. All right. But, just to stick to the point, let's get back to the left-hand side spirits. What are their purpose? Let's get Daniel chapter 4 and verse 35.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 35. And all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, what doest thou?
None can say to the Most High, what you doing? Why are you doing this? Nobody or nothing No matter how mighty you think you are or what you know, you can't say to the Most High, what doest thou? And that's nonsense. You get put to death for that. But the point of this verse, at least what I wanted to bring out in this verse, is it says here, that he doeth according to his will in the army of heaven. That's why the Most High is called the Lord of hosts. The hosts are his angels. That's the army of heaven. They doing the bidding of the Lord. You understand? Even the left-hand side angels, that's part of this army of heaven. All right. So basically what I'm saying here is the Most High set Satan up to do his work. All right. Satan is only bad to us because Satan gets us away from the Most High. He separates us from the Most High because those are left-hand side spirits. And you have left-hand side spirits on, you can't keep the commandments. Well, you can't keep the commandments, and the Most High turn his back on you. All right. But it's all for a purpose. Now let's look at some examples within Scripture where we see these spirits, jumping on men. This left-hand side spirits that we just talked about. Let's get 1 Kings chapter 22. Let's start at I know 22 is high. Let's start at verse 19.
It's the book of 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 19. And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Most High. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left."
See, on the right hand, you have Yahushua and the righteous angels. All right. In the spirits, the righteous spirits, discipline, love, everything that's going to help you understand the Most High and keep his commandments. That you got everything on the left-hand side. Envy, jealousy, lust, murder, lying, deceit. Those are the spirits and the angels sitting on the left-hand side. Let's keep going.
Verse 20. And the Lord said, "Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramath Galilee?" And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner.
All right, so who shall persuade Ahab? All right, that he may go and fall. One said on this manner, another said on this manner. So they basically saying, how are we going to kill Ahab? And one of them saying, well, what if we have a horse just fall on his head? Another one saying, well, man, what if we have him slip in a river and he just drown, go down a waterfall and drown? One saying one thing and one saying another. That's what's happening here. And this conversation is actually being had all the time. This is not just one example. This is going on every day. Right now, the Most High sitting with his angels, and he's saying, how are we going to take this wicked mug out? Because again, it can happen to you righteous as well, but especially with the wicked, how are we going to take this wicked Negro out? Well, we ought to do this. That's what the angel's talking about, man. Let's keep going.
Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, "I will persuade him."
All right. So one of the spirits came and said, I'll persuade him. I'll do it. Let's keep going.
Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, "Wherewith?" And he said, "I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." And he said, "Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so."
So you see, the Most High is actually agreeing with this spirit. It's a lying spirit, though. You see that? Y'all catching that? This is a lying spirit. The Most High is, he justifying this right now. Let's keep going.
Verse 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets.
Slot. Did you say Satan put a lying spirit in the mouth of these prophets?
The Lord have put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets.
And
the Lord have spoken evil concerning thee.
So you can't blame everything directly on the Most High. If you got something going on in your life, it could be the Most High just jacking you up because of your own actions. That's the Most High doing that, because the Most High creates evil. All right. The Lord had put that lying spirit on the mouth of these prophets, but it's all because of righteousness. We're going to get that in just a second. It's all for righteousness' sake. All right. The Most High not doing this for no reason. It's just evil to us. All right. Everything that the Most High do is precise and according to plan. Every single thing that happens, every single death, every single birth, you know, there's really no such thing as an untimely death, to be honest, because it's all by design. They even have certain movies. I remember one movie, and I think I brought this up a while back, probably like last year. I feel like it's been a minute, but there was a movie called Time Machine, I believe that's the name of it, where you had this guy had a girlfriend or wife or whatever the case was. He had a woman where she died a tragic death one day, and it destroyed him. He spent the rest of his life for the next 10 years or so creating a time machine so he can go back and stop his woman from dying, essentially, because I believe it's like a car wreck or something. And he made the time machine. He went back. He stopped his wife from going on that car. Say it was a car. I can't remember exactly, but say it was a car accident. So he stopped his woman from getting on the car, and then she slipped on a banana and hit her head or died the exact same time. He went in a time machine, came back. She got hit by a car, came back, died another way. And of course, we know this is all folly. It's just fiction. But the idea is that, you know, either way, the Most High will have, you know, whatever his will is, it just is. And there's nothing that man can do about that, because, again, it's all precise and according to plan. And there's nothing we can do to interfere that. All right, let's get another example. 1 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 1.
It's the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel.
All right, that was all according to the Most High's plan. We're going to kind of speed it up a little bit here. Let's get 1 Samuel chapter 19 and verse 9.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 19 and verse 9. And it reads, and the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand, and David played with his hand.
All right, that was the Most High that put that evil spirit upon Saul, man. You know, when Saul was going off, chasing David, trying to take his life, that evil spirit came from the Most High. Because remember, Isaiah 45 and 7, the Most High creates evil as well, the light and the darkness. All right. But again, we're gonna get more on, you know, why this is the case, at least according to men. Let's get Isaiah chapter 37 and verse 36.
The book of Isaiah chapter 37 and verse 36. Then the angel of the Lord went forth and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses.
So the Most High sent that death angel out there to jack them Assyrians up, man. The Most High did that. All right, now we about to finally get more on, you know, what we can perceive on why the Most High, you know, sends out these different angels, these different spirits, aligned spirits, and all the evil spirits. Let's get Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28.
It's the book of Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
The Most High made them. So There are spirits that's created just for vengeance, just for sore strikes. So in a time of destruction, they can come out and jack up everybody at the Most High already got set to be jacked up. You understand? That's their purpose. So angels all have a purpose, just like we all have a purpose. All the angels have designations and jobs. All right. I believe, what is it? Revelation 5. It's an angel where pretty much his job is to praise the Most High. Let me get that real quick. What? Okay, I guess I gotta come here. How that page ain't found. I believe it's Revelation 9. Slack if it's not. You know what? I know it's in Isaiah chapter 6. Brothers may know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna get there real quick. All right, let's get Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 3.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 6 and verse 3. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
All right, let me look at my sword real quick. Let me see where it's at in Revelation, because that's what I wanted. But where's that in Revelation? It says the exact same thing. But basically, that angel, it is Revelation chapter 4. But that angel, that's his only purpose, is to praise the Most High. All right. I'm kind of dragging this out, but verse 8 real quick.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 4 and verse 8. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about him, and they were full of eyes within. And they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come.
So they rest day and night, just saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. So you see, they got a specific purpose. The Most High has these angels for whatever reason he want to have them. All right. So you got to understand that when you thinking about, any type of trauma that's going on in your life, it's for a purpose. All right. And then even further down, when you have like spirits right here that's created for vengeance, it's all for the Most High's, for the Most High's ultimate purpose. Let's get the next verse.
The book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 29. And it reads, Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
So the Most High, vengeance is of the Lord. So fire, hail, famine, and death, all these angels that carry these things, they were made for vengeance. So everything that we see right now is made for the end times, man. That's how powerful this is when you really think about it. All right. I really just looked at time. So let me see what I wanted from this. I know I definitely got to get verse 33. All right, let's skip to verse 33.
Verse 33. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season.
All the works of the Lord are good. Okay, and he will give every needful thing in due season. So when you read Isaiah chapter 45 in verse 7, don't you dare have the thought of your mind that, does this mean the Most High is evil too? No, all the works of the Lord are good. Okay, and the Most High is only righteous. 100% pure righteousness. The only thing that exists that's 100% pure righteousness. All right, let's get Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 4.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 4. He is the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment. A God of truth without iniquity. Just and right is he.
Without iniquity. So how can he create evil and be without iniquity? Because that's just for us. Satan is just for us. He's the adversary for men. The Most High puts all these works in motion for his ultimate plan. All right, for his will, which when I say ultimate plan, I just mean his will. All right. So don't think when you read that, don't think, oh, well, does that mean the Most High is evil? No, he just creates evil for his will. Right is he. All right. His work is perfect. All right. All the works of the Lord are good, even the left-hand side angels. And when we read good, not to us, if you got a lying spirit, it's not a good thing for you. If you got the spirit of lust, jealousy, adultery, that's not a good thing to us. But it's all according to the Most High's will. All right, you have to understand. Gosh, I'm killing my time doing this extra precepts, but you got to understand that our thoughts are not the Most High's thoughts, and our ways are not his ways. You understand? So, you know, if you read that verse, you have to keep all this, you know, in mind. Let's get Psalm chapter 33 and verse 4.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 33 and verse 4. For the word of the Lord is right, and all his works are done in truth.
All his works are done in truth, even on the left-hand side. When Job was tested, that was done in truth. All right, that was a righteous test. Even though he lost his sons, his daughters, you know, he had boils and, you know, he lost his land, everything else was cattle and everything. He lost all his possessions. The Most High multiplied that thing, man. It was all to make his calling and election sure. And that's what the left-hand side devils and demons, that's what they do. They're making your calling and election sure, because without a test, you don't have a testimony. You understand? So everything that the Most High does is righteous. All right. Let's get Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11.
The book of Revelations, chapter 4 and verse 11. Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created.
All things were created for his pleasure. The Most High do whatever he want to do. So no matter what's going on with you, you can't question that. All right. Good and bad, at least to our perception, was good and bad, is just all praises to the Most High, because you never know why the Most High has you going through something. All right. You could be going through, you know, whatever it is in your life. Could be financial distress. You know, it could be, you know, with your spouse, whatever the case is. That's all for the Most High's pleasure. And you never know what's coming around the corner, because you don't have the spiritual eyes to see what's in the future, but the Most High do. All right, so you got to stay girded no matter what. And I say that, you know, as a testament to myself as well. I'm not saying just y'all like I perfected. That's something that we all have to strive for. And make sure that we don't have these thoughts where we question the Most High. All right. And not even directly questioning him, but just from a standpoint of overthinking it when something happened. Man, why this had to happen? Why this had to be me? You never know what's going on, man. Never know why the Most High putting you through a trial. All right. And yeah, let's might as well jump to it. We talking about, you know, Satan. So let's get 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
See, it says your adversary, the devil. That's not the Most High's adversary. That's our adversary. The Most High has no adversaries. All right. But to the point here, this means that the devil or Satan is looking to get people to serve him on a daily basis, right now, all day, every day. You know, walking to and fro in the earth, meaning that spirit is going in every household to every person, looking to jack you up, looking to get you off track. All right. But, you know, the more you build up the Holy Spirit, the better you can recognize that attack. Because the thing is Satan is a deceiver. All right. So you have to have discernment to be able to see when you being attacked. Just because it says here that it's as a roaring lion, he may not manifest himself as a roaring lion, meaning something that you can easily recognize. You're not always going to see Satan coming in your life, man, because he can come in any form that he wants to, in the form of your mother, father, wife, husband, best friend. Shoot, could be Facebook Messenger. I don't know. You know, whatever it is, you know, we got to build up our spirit so we had that discernment to see when Satan coming in. All right, because he can come in and jack you up, have you going off before you even realize that was Satan coming in your life. It's already over with. Dang, I find myself in this. I'm in another man's house sleeping with this woman. I didn't even know this woman was a devil. I dropped something at the stove. She picked it up. Next thing you know, I'm at a house. You just never know, man. You got to be, that's why it says be sober and be vigilant, man. You got to be paying attention to this at all times. You know, you got to be looking out for these attacks 24/7. You got to be watchers. Let's get Matthew chapter 18 and verse 10.
It's the book of Matthew chapter 18 and verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven.
So here's another thing that we need to know about the angels. This is very important. So let's read that one more time, Baba Kasha.
Book of Matthew chapter 18 and verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven.
So behold, notice here it says beholding the face of my Father. All right, the angels are recording every single thing that you think about, every single thing that you do, the things that you're thinking about doing. All right, the angels can see all of that. All right, but again, notice here it says, beholding the face of my Father. Let's get a classic here. Let's get Sirach chapter 23 and verse 19.
It's the book of Sirach chapter 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts.
Now, this is referring to the angels. Remember, I told you to keep in mind, it says, beholding the face of my Father. It says, beholding all the face of men. So the angels, it says here that the eyes of the Lord, that's the angels. That's brighter, 10,000 times brighter than the sun. What does that mean? You know, the sun emits a light where, you know, according to Esau, it's so many light years away. Really ain't no telling. Sun could be 1,000 feet up or something. Ain't no telling. But anyway, we definitely know it's far from Earth. All right, you can't just jump up there and touch it. Now, it's that far away, but it emits all of that light. That's amazing. You just have to think about how bright something has to be to emit that type of light all the way to planet Earth. It's amazing just thinking about it. But even with that amazing of a light, the angels or the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So you really have to take that into context. That means that the angels can see every single thing that we do, every single thing that we think about. They know us better than we know ourselves. All right, that's why it says 10,000 times brighter, because that's an insight or the light that they have on us. And that's how the Most High knows everything. You can't get nothing past the Most High, man. He sees everything. All right, it says such a man only feared the eyes of men. He'd be worried about, the eyes of the Most High. What's the precept? Worry not about. Well, basically it says worry about the Most High that can destroy your soul. What's the precept?
Oh yeah, it's in Matthew.
We ain't got to get it, but that's the point.
Don't worry about him that can destroy the body. Worry about him that can destroy the body and soul in hell.
Where's that?
That's Matthew
10 and 28.
The
White Ox. Yeah. So don't fear the eyes of men. Fear the eyes of the Most High. And the way that I try to think about it is whether somebody around or not. I know them angels. Remember, the angels are invisible. Sometimes they can, make themselves visible to us. Now we know that you could be entertaining angels unawares, according to Hebrews chapter 13. However, most of the time you can't see the angels. These are the things that we read about in Colossians chapter 1 that were made invisible. So whether somebody is around you or not, you need to be thinking about this. When I say you need to be thinking about this, I'm talking about myself as well. All right, we all need to be thinking like that. The angels are recording everything that I do. So even if men don't see me, the eyes of men don't see me, I know the eyes of the Lord see me every single time. Ain't nothing you can do, whether you have, whether you in the night or the dark. All right, the Most High gonna see it. And David brought that out in Psalms chapter 133. Either way, I'll put the precept on in the comments on the video. Let's get Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3.
The book of Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good.
So whether you doing evil or you doing good, the eyes of the Lord or the angels are in every place. But remember, you have to fear the Lord for the righteous angels to be looking out for you. All right. So you want to keep that in mind. Even though it says beholding the evil and the good, you don't want to be on the evil side. All right, let's get 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteousness. Slakia. For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil.
So the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, like we read, and his ears are open into their prayers, just like Proverbs chapter 28 and verse 9. All right. You have to fear the Lord. You have to keep his commandments to have your prayers, sent up to the angels. All right. For the Most High to hear your prayers. That's only prayers that he's even entertaining. All right. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. So, they teach you in church that the Most High only hates the sinner. The sin and not the sinner. No, that's not the case. All right. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil. All right. Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 20.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 20. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich of thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which have wings shall tell the matter.
So, this is hidden a little bit, slightly here, unless you really reading the Bible and dealing with it. So the bird of the air here are the angels. All right, for the bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings, angels, shall tell the matter. All right, the angels are telling all your matters every single time, man. A righteous snitch. All right, and I don't really like that word because I think people don't really understand what a snitch is, but either way, just saying it for hip talk per se. The angels are telling everything that's going on, man. And you got to keep that in mind again. You know, what they call in the world today, character. All right. Whether somebody around you or not, will you keep the laws of the Most High? Is it really in your inward parts? Is that really a part of your daily life? A part of your every decision? At least to the best of your ability. You know, is that on the front of your mind though? Or do you do things according to your own will, according to your own belly? All right, let's get 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10.
It's the book of 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10.
So I'm grabbing this because now we about to finally answer the question full circle. You know, what is the purpose of the evil spirits? All right, let's get it.
Con. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, ye shall never fall.
Brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. That is why we have the evil spirits, to make the calling and election sure of those that are you know, that's going to make the kingdom. You know, the elect, the calling and election sure. So, you know, actually, let's just go to the next verse. Let's get Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16.
The book of Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples.
Bind up the testimony. So when you keep the law, even when you have a lying spirit or whatever that spirit is come upon you, like Job did, let's get that real quick. Let's see what Job did when he had the spirit, you know, come down on him. All right. Remember, the Most High had a conversation with Satan, right? So he was charged, Satan was charged to go in Job's presence. So let's get Job chapter 1 and verse 22.
The book of Job chapter 1 and verse 22. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged the Most High foolishly.
So that's the purpose of having the evil spirits, is so that you don't charge the Most High foolishly and that you sin not. That binds up your testimony. So when judgment day comes, Yahweh can say, oh, yeah, remember we sent that spirit down on him, or we sent that person in their life to do this? They could have went here, but they didn't. That's binding up your testimony, because again, without a test, you have no testimony. How can you earn your right to the kingdom without a testimony? All right. Anybody can say that they love the Lord without proving that they love the Lord. Anybody can say that they have faith without their faith being tested. That's the purpose that you see these evil spirits, at least one of the many purposes that you see the evil spirits coming to and fro upon the earth. All right, to bind up the elect's testimony. You understand? We got another one here. We can go to the Psalms chapter 132, I believe. Yeah, let's get Psalms chapter 132 and verse 12.
The book of Psalms chapter 132 and verse 12. If thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore.
You see that? So if you keep my covenant, you keep my laws, my statute, laws, and commandments, and my testimony that I shall teach them, you have that testimony, then your children shall sit upon thy throne forever. All right, so that's one of the purposes of the evil spirits upon earth. All right, and that's one of the reasons, at least according to the perception of man, that you have evil being created. You know, back in Isaiah, that we read back in Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. All right, so the last thing I'm going to, leave y'all with is, you have Satan, the chief angel, going through wrecking and testing the righteous and the wicked, because the wicked, they're going to fall asunder to these tests. After that, they're going to be done, man. Satan and his angels, they're going to be done. So that's going on right now. But we know, according to Revelation chapter 20, and in this verse here, they finna be out of here, man. Let's get Matthew chapter 25, verse 41.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels.
All right. So that lake of fire is prepared for the devil and his angels. So they here for a certain amount of time, to do the will of the Most High, which is always righteous. There is no evil in the Most High. He just creates evil to do his will. All right. And then they out of here, man. They go into the lake of fire. So hopefully I covered, enough to bring at least a slight bit more of understanding to the subject. And with that, Shalom.